The debt clock people have given us the most revealing message so far, and it has to do with this number right here. But don't they all? But I'll explain why this is so important this time and why there is an end in sight to this number we're looking at. Let's explore! Yeah, I've got it front and center because I want you to just look at it. Sometimes that's all you can do is just look at it. So just look at it. That's right, it is out of our control for now. There's not much we can do about this. Yes, we can vote for politicians that claim to want to bring this number down. But does it work? Does it happen? No. We can have 1 or 2 or even 5 really good Congress people and a senator or 2 that may be enthusiastic about bringing this number down. But in the end, there's really not much that can be done about it until maybe the end of this year. Then something will be done about it, according to the debt clock people. Let's take a look back and take a look at some of these other numbers before we get into the message itself, because it is quite an eye-opening message and actually the most revealing yet of all the messages that are out there. Some of them have alluded to some sort of temporal activity happening. In other words, when we'll see the new system come into play. But this one gives us a date. Yeah, it's crazy. But what are we looking at here? Well, these red numbers obviously are bad because it means that we've got a lot of debt because of U.S. federal spending and U.S. federal budget deficits. And these official numbers here are causing this to just climb dramatically. The deficit spending official and the actual spending is even more. And the budget deficit is actually even more. It's crazy, these numbers. Look at the U.S. federal debt to GDP ratio. These numbers have not changed a whole lot, but this is near wartime numbers. In fact, in World War II, it was at almost 130 to 1, or 120 or 130% to the federal debt to GDP ratio there. It's crazy, and because there's not enough federal tax revenue coming in for all that they want to spend. It's just nuts. They don't live within their means. Even Jerome Powell says that it'd be better if we were more fiscally responsible sooner rather than later. Even he agrees with it. Of course, he's just giving us lip service. But nonetheless, let's see what the debt clock people are saying in their messages. And some of them I agree with and others not. And this is one that I don't necessarily agree with, but user sign up has been telling me that this is what they're saying for pretty much since the beginning. It turns out he was exactly right, because they're now for the first time giving us a time frame on when the new money is coming. So this is another old money versus new money infographic. Let's zoom out to see the message. This is big, folks, because they're telling us that the old system, the old money, will die in 2024. This is the gravestone for old money. Let's zoom in and take a look at it. 1913 to 2024, they are saying. And I'm going to tell you why I still disagree with it, but sign up was exactly right on this. Wow. The United States Federal Reserve System, old money. Now, we're still in 2024. It's still current money, but it's going to die in 2024 according to this. That's how I interpret it. This system will die off this year. Wow. Perpetual debt, interest creation, debt system indeed. In fact, if you look at a dollar bill or any Federal Reserve note, what does it say on it? This note is legal tender for all debts, public and private. It is unlimited, unaudited, wealth extraction scheme. And that really is. That's right. Gold and silver is wealth preservation, where Federal Reserve notes are wealth extraction. And it is a scheme. That's exactly right. That's actually well played on the wordplay there. It's secretly leveraged counterfeit derivatives. Well, actually, because it's legal, it's not counterfeit. Counterfeit, I think, is an incorrect term there. To me, that denotes or implies illegality. They do all this stuff in broad daylight. It's secret, but of some of the back-end dealings and the like, but it's all legal. So let's take a look at this note. Again, we see this here, that it is the United Racketeers. I like that. Not a federal note, and there's no reserves, that's for sure, unless you have the gold, but the gold is separated from it. And you have the presidential portrait here of President Wilson, and you can see that he's got the flags of all the nations behind him there, in reference to his League of Nations. He was kind of the original globalist as he presented a failed League of Nations, with his 14 points plan. But we can see on this bill, we have on one side the United States federal usury system, and it's fraud. That's right. Legal plunder. That's right. Exactly. 100. The United Racketeers debt interest, it says there. Debt and interest, which is unpayable. Yeah, what are they going to do? Seems like the system has got to be reset. And I do agree with them on that. As you can see there, it's signed Thomas X. Is that the Thomas Paine reference there? What does the X stand for? You guys, several of you have different theories about that. 100 IOUs. Yes, indeed. And what is the foundation for this? What is the reference? In the U.S. national debt, $34.2 trillion. And since the creation of that, we can see that, well, it was higher than that now, but nonetheless, you can see there, 34.2 trillion. And the interest on the debt net is 744 million. Currency and credit derivatives now stand at 620 trillion of all the currency and credit derivatives out there in the world. Crazy, insane what it is. And it perpetuates, it just builds upon itself. And these numbers essentially become meaningless under this system. Well, because, people still have faith in it. People still have faith in fiat. And I don't think that's going to die in 2024. There's no sign of it. Inflation is there, but we are seeing at least some signs of it slowing to some degree, but it is up. But unless it gets out of control, the dollar dies. I don't think it's going to die anytime soon. We would have to see inflation, I think, in the 6, 7, 8% before we start to see them lose control of it, where they reset it. And when that reset occurs, it's going to move into the central bank digital currency system. But they are saying it's going to move immediately to new money. Notice here, there are no dates for this. And so I think they're leaving themselves up for the possibility of what's in between here. You see this divider here. We can see that the divider has green reflecting off the green that we have for the greenback in the old Federal Reserve system. Now, green is on one side in this divider, and we can see on the other side a reflection of gold and silver, presumably. I think that's clever of the debt clock people to put that there. That's pretty cool. But under the new system, there's a lot of the gap theories in play now here, folks. Right in here should be CBDC, where they do this reset of the system. And they're not talking about that. And I think they should. I think the clock, because the third part in this, we have a long way to go before we get to here. But they're saying that it's going to die in 2024. I don't think it will. I disagree with them there. I don't think it's going to die in 2024. I'd be shocked if it did. They still have a lot of room down that runway. There's still a lot of room for them to kick it down the can down the road because of how dominant the dollar's hegemony is. It's not going away anytime soon. That's my feeling. But this is the most revealing one yet because they put a death date, presumably December 31st, 2024. Now, new money in time, again, notice there's no dates here, so they open themselves up, will be asset-based wealth creation, limited supply, store of increased value, transparent, verifiable, real assets. And we see behind it, we can see clearly that it is a dark blue, a deep blue, deeper than the last one, with a fading out to a darker corners of this thing at the borders of it overall. But you can see the USA Department of the Treasury, 1776 there, with the American Liberty gold eagle, or the eagle perched there on the rock, which you see in the American Liberty series there. We can see here transparent, verifiable, real assets. And in the background here, we see the Earth, which we've talked about before, and the United States with the continental United States with the flag, and the cities lighted up there. Below, we can see the ever familiar U.S. Treasury certificate, the United States of America, with the gold eagle in the background, presumably backed by gold, and silver with the 1964 Kennedy $50 there. Debt-free currency, payable to the bearer on demand, with John F. Kennedy. And we know about John F. Kennedy. We talked about that. He was a champion of this type of thing. Yes, indeed, with silver certificates, which ended up dying a few years after he died. And there you go. C for 100, the C note there. No debt, no interest on debt, no currency and credit derivatives. Boom, all asset backed. I love that. That's great. And you can see that this thing on the border, presumably going black, but we can see a white glowing background around all of this as you zoom out to see it all. Pretty amazing. I do these videos every time that they send out a new secret message. I do a video talking about it with my thoughts on it and inquiring about your thoughts on the new debt clock secret. Let me know what your thoughts are on this one. Hope you found this video informative, insightful, and educational. If you missed some of the other videos I've done, and more than likely you have, because these videos do not get very many views, but I do think they are of value, and I hope you will spread the message. There has been, like Norwegian Maid has been very kind to post them on her Twitter account. So if you could do that, I really appreciate if you could share these videos. I think it's eye-opening to see what's going on and what other people. We don't know exactly who these debt clock people are, by the way. I have come to some guess based off some information somebody else shared with me, but we really don't know for sure. So let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section down below. I would like to extend a multitude of gratitude to each and every one of you for watching and encourage you to please rate, share, comment, and subscribe.